Hello, you guys. Okay, so we're back in here. I really wanted to get back into some product reviews as we do. My makeup reviews, my product reviews. I've done this for 15 years. The last couple years, I don't want to say I got out of it, but I really took, and I don't want to say practice what I preach, but I really took my intentions, everything that I told you guys that I was doing seriously, and actually practiced that. I didn't shop much. I didn't buy a bunch of new makeup. When I cleaned out all of that crazy collective IKEA containers full, you know, that we were really into 10 years ago, 7 years, 5, whatever, of just tons of makeup, old, nasty stuff. When you guys saw me clean that out, I really didn't go back to that. I stuck with the good things. I feel like in this last 5 years, we have really discovered the best things and really kind of took my hair down so that I need to do my hair. Okay, whatever. This isn't okay. But anyways, I didn't go back to that. I didn't buy a lot of new stuff. I didn't, but I did try new things. But I wasn't like doing beauty hauls all the time, buying random stuff to review. I wasn't even reviewing a lot of stuff, and it's fine. I love how things evolve. I love what I've done here over the years, and because it's exactly what I want to be doing. But I gotta say, you guys, I was really interested in this Makeup by Mario foundation. It's very raved about. In one of my recent videos where I did like the best of the year, right? The things that I showed you guys, and I had gotten a lot of this stuff then too, but all those things in that video were truly things that stood the test of the year. Okay, I'm not gonna be saying, oh my gosh, you guys, this is so great, or look at this new lip gloss that I got, this is great. No, things that weren't even a month old. Like I was showing you guys things from the year, but I had already been trying these things. I had bought some of this stuff. I do naturally have a few new things to show you guys in this video, so it's not gonna be like, oh, here's a haul. Primarily, I want to review this Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin, that's what it's called, foundation, yes. And I ended up getting the Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Perfector. I'm gonna do it all, okay? I'm gonna use this new lip product, a new like just one product, truly like eye thing that I did, just with some new things that I've gotten. But I really wanna give you guys a full review on this Surreal Skin. And you'll know, like, I don't wanna say I got away from those, but I just haven't done any like really brutal reviews. You guys know me, like I feel like I kind of got, well, I don't know what I was known for in the beginning, but I've always been a non-BS, you know, I don't kiss any, okay, whatever. I am brutal with reviews, not in a bad way, brutal in a good way, brutal in a bad way, brutally honest, not really going by what everyone else is saying, because I feel that and sometimes it's just, you get a lot of good reviews because it's a great product. A lot of times when you see someone talk about something or you see all these reviews, what is happening with my hair? You see all these reviews, they're all the flippin' same. This is so great. This is so great. It has, you know, these ingredients, it has this natural finish, it has this and that. Well, those are all things that I can read on the Sephora website. Do you know what I'm saying? And then everyone just saying how great it is, you know, tagging the company, please send me free shit. Okay. No, we don't do that here. Okay. So I really just wanted to be real about this. If you were considering this foundation, and I think we are coming from a place after these years of not maybe doing so much of this to now we know, like, last several years, we weren't just frivolously trying a lot of new crap. Like, we were using the best of the best, repurchasing the best of the best, don't have time for that. So I feel like now it's like even more so we're picky, and I feel like that's what you kind of want from someone that you're watching talk about beauty stuff, because we can go see fluff in a store, we can see fluff online, we can read about something and see how great it is. I really want to see someone using it. I want to see the real deal. So I'm going to demonstrate and do everything, but at the top here, at the top as we've like rambled, I'm going to give you guys just the basics, tell you guys my feelings, and then I'm going to demo it, show you some new stuff. Surreal Skin Foundation. It's $42. I believe it's exclusive to Sephora. Natural finish. It's a liquid. It's not like a thin liquid. It's going to be kind of like a medium thickness liquid, a little almost like gel feeling, creamy. It's very hydrating. It does have actual more like physical shimmer than any foundation I've used. Someone might say shimmer. If you look at it, you can actually see the particles. I love the luminous silk. I love a more luminous foundation naturally, okay? I love a natural finish. Don't have time for like a matte finish. I feel like it really accentuates like aging, and I do have more like combo to oily skin, very acne prone. So you have to be careful, and we'll get into that, okay? Because you can't just say, oh, this is great, this is this, this is that. I really want to talk about how it works with different skin types and why this may not be just like a black or white, this is great, this is not, this is this, this is that type of review. I think you're really gonna have to take into account like what I tell you about it, my experience, also like what it is, see if it's gonna work for you, because it's, you know. Okay, but the luminous silk is a very like satiny finish. You can see that. This one you can actually see little particles. When they're on your skin, you don't see it, but it's a halo effect. It does give truly a beautiful like halo effect. Really great coverage. This is medium coverage. I feel like the coverage is better than probably most other things I have. Similar to the luminous silk, probably even better. I feel like it builds beautifully. I find myself having to use very little concealer when I use this. This is breathable, luminous, effortlessly blends, all of those things. We'll talk about how blending and how you apply it is very important. Long wearing, and I do find that it does not oxidize. Didn't oxidize on me. I wear the shade 5N. There's a really great shade range. So when I first applied it, I did as I do, and don't know where it is, I believe it just like rolled off. Here it is. I used like, you know, beauty blender type of sponge. I like to get the Amazon ones. You guys know we've talked about that for years, that whole saga. Dampened blender sponge like this is pretty much the standard when I do foundation. I love my foundation to look natural. I always say you can get a $2 drugstore foundation that's either super luminous or super matte. You get a $100 or a $50, whatever you're gonna spend on a really high-end foundation, whatever range of foundation, in any finish. And if your routine of doing foundation is I'm gonna use a brush or sponge and then I'm gonna set it with setting powder, all those foundations are exactly the same because you've wrecked it with a setting powder. Not wrecked it, because setting powder, there's an art to it. You can't just put it all over. Matting it out just makes them all equal. You know what I mean? Like, why are we doing that? We talk about setting powder and how I do it, like, as I show you guys. So the goal for me isn't like a matte finish. And I think it's garbage if you buy a foundation that doesn't set or so poorly sets. It's just like running off your face, or it looks sticky or it feels sticky to that. Then you have to set it. Then it's like that foundation isn't doing its job. Your $2 setting powder, whatever you put on it is. Do you know what I'm saying? So why are we caring so much about foundation? Why are we doing that if we're just wrecking it with setting powder in the wrong ways? With this, the first time I used it, I thought, oh mama, because I used a dampened blender sponge, put it on, and I thought, okay, I see, but it was shiny. Not shiny and, you know, luminous in the way that I like my foundation to look, but it was sticky, it was like wet. I think it was because of the dewiness of the beauty blender, you know, the hydration that adds. But I will say, you know, since then I have used it several times with that. I do find that, yeah, you're gonna be a little tripped out. Like, okay, this is not gonna set right. Give it time, because then it will, and it looks beautiful throughout the day. Like, I wanna say then it will. I don't know, but if you're addicted to a beauty blender or like a dampened sponge like me, I would say skip that for this foundation. Always I use that for my under eye, and I still did that for this, and I'll show you guys that and a trick that I'm using, an old trick that I'm using for my under eye. It's not a trick, you guys have been here, okay? It's nothing new. But a foundation brush is where it's at, and you want one that isn't so huge, not one that isn't gonna leave a lot of streaks, one that's dense. This is just the most perfect one. We'll talk about that in a second too. It's the 56 Sephora brush. Sephora brushes are so great. And Makeup by Mario brushes we'll talk about too in a second. But put the foundation, so I'll show you guys how it looks as you put it on, but it is but it does give you, I don't wanna say shimmery, because I don't want you to be afraid of that. There are particles in it that are like shimmery particles, okay? Call them whatever you wanna call them. If shimmer freaks you out, then let's call them like halo particles. I don't know. Makes your skin look incredible. I absolutely love the way it makes my skin look, but you cannot, if you're someone that likes a foundation to feel very set and very on, this foundation might not be for you, because in order to make it work, you're gonna have to put a ton of powder on it. And that to me is a con. That's something I actually like. I mean, I don't want it to be sticky or anything, which is why I apply it with a brush that has a little more grab to really buff it in. Really love the way that it makes my skin look. So it's like your whole skin has kind of like this halo effect, which really doesn't emphasize blemishes or imperfections. It really it's like an airbrush effect. Sometimes I feel if you use a really matte product, and I'm not bashing matte products, I'm just saying like we need to kind of get away from some of that. Well, maybe not if you're happy with that, but I'm just saying, I think you'd be surprised if you tried some things that were a little more natural finish, or like this, that you might be afraid of when you hear shimmer and halo effect, okay? But the matte really emphasizes everything. And all the textural issues. If you've got a halo, if you've got like this effect of like even a sheen, or like I love my luminous silk, I'm gonna keep comparing it to that. Well, there really isn't, but it's just my favorite, okay? You've got dimension, you've got a little bit of high planes, look like shine naturally, right? And so your imperfections are more blurred in. Okay, so anyways, whatever. I would say Mario knows what he's doing, okay? Like he's done this for, obviously, like he's a really accomplished makeup artist. I feel like this is the type of foundation ideally like I would, if I could create any type, like I would. What trips me up about this, and you'll see me when I apply it and everything, I put it right under my eyes. I feel like I have to wear far less concealer if I do have redness or some blemishes or some areas. It covers really well and it's beautiful. And I really love the natural effect. Wears amazing throughout the day. But for someone like me who does get oily and I don't slather on powder throughout the day, I get far less oily when I use more hydrating products. So it's oil breakthrough is not the issue. It's what my skin does with the oil. It's the breakouts. It's the, you know, that is what I'm saying. I don't have an issue with oil breakthrough really with anything. And I have oily skin. You will have an issue with oil breakthrough. I know I sound like the matte, like bashing police, but if your skin looks like this, it's naturally a little like, not shiny, but it looks luminous. It's the oil breakthrough really isn't gonna be apparent. It's just gonna be your skin, okay? If you've got matted skin and you're really just like porcelain perfection, yeah, the oil's gonna start cracking that up real soon because it's a different texture. It's a different, it's just more apparent, okay? So got oily skin, I'm saying just let's maybe try something new, okay? I think you'll be very surprised. In saying that, with all the, my issue is with the oiliness with my skin type, the ingredients, it's got good ingredients, but the third ingredient is an ingredient that sometimes has caused me some issues in the past with certain things. It's a coconut oil derivative, and or not derivative, I don't know if that, it's an ingredient adjacent, similar to that of like a coconut oil type of thing. Not coconut oil, you can do your own research on the ingredients. I don't know, maybe that was such an important thing they added to this. Maybe if that wouldn't be in there, it would be garbage. But as you know, when you read ingredients and there's tons of them, the top ingredients, usually water or something like that, that's what makes up the majority of the product. And you guys know, as the ingredients get lower on the list, they're arranged by what's used the most to what is used the least. So it's not like it's like trace amounts in the bottom. It's a pretty big one on top. So I've been using this every day that I use it and kind of being like, ugh, you know, I'm just waiting for the breakout. And so far, I will say, you know, I know my skin. I have had a few little things. If I use it like, it's not going to be a full-on acne breakout. It's usually if a product's breaking out, I can tell because I'll have a little clogged pore here that turns into something, or I have something a little going on here that's just this odd zit, you know what I mean? Usually from a clogged pore from a product, and I don't know, but I feel like I've been using this long enough. It would have probably done something by now. That's how I am with everything, you know what I mean? That's not like a con or a negative thing. I just have to be very careful with my skin breaking out. I feel like my skin's gotten touchier as I've got older. I'm gonna be 40 in a few years, and I'm like, when is this gonna end? Like, can the breakouts please just stop? So that's the thing. I think that if you're someone that doesn't deal with acne breakouts, doesn't really deal with breakout, really, you're not concerned with that, try it. If you are very breakout prone and you're really, you know, I don't know, because I tried it and I liked it, but it's just something, as I said, it's not going to be like, this is good, this is bad. So what do you think of it? Should I get it? Should I not? I'm giving you the information. You're just going to have to be like, I don't know, will that work with my skin? Will it not? But I do think it's different than a lot of things that I've ever tried, and that it does have more of that halo effect. I love the luminous silk. It's oil free. I mean, if you want an alternative, it's oil free. It has a similar effect on the skin. I do feel like this is much lighter and much more wearable. This is very long wearing though. Is this a little more long wearing than the luminous silk? Maybe. So it's just pros and cons of everything. I'm comparing it to this because this is like my holy grail and I just love it. Maybe what I review next might be my new holy grail, because I've also been trying something. So, no, there is something that I'm gonna share with you guys soon that's pretty good. But I've been trying to kind of try these in a vacuum, like just this. I want to see if it's gonna break me out, you know, for a week, for 2 weeks, and then switch to something. You know what I'm saying? I really do try to be like, I don't want to just try something for a day or two and be like, oh, great. But I like the packaging is good. It's glass and just like plasticky, and I don't know, the white's cool. I had to wipe it off because it had gotten pretty dirty. Maybe I should have just left it, but it's good. It's a good, decent packaging. And I'll show you guys how I did it here in a second. I've got so much new makeup, you guys, and skincare, and I'm gonna use a few things in the little demo, but I do wanna talk about these quickly because I really haven't like focused in on these, but I've been using them for a few months now. And I've really gotten into them. Again, this was something else that I was like, is this gonna break me out? It hasn't. So I'm really excited about that. And it does have ingredients that probably smells so good. It's the Tahitian Manoi oil that Nars puts in their products. Some of them. This smells like, it's just, and I can smell it on my skin during the day, I know. But it's the Laguna bronzing creams. It's this new range, new-ish, I don't know, I've had it for a while, that Nars has. And the Laguna 2 is the original Laguna, and that's what I wore today. Especially if you're wanting to kind of use a little more to contour, then blend as a bronzer. This one is also good too, the Laguna 01. Sometimes I use it just for the big fluffy brush, just for kind of an all over like easy look. So it's kind of tough. I can't decide between the 1 and the 2, but they're really good. And you'll see me use that in the video. So I really have been loving those bronzing creams. I got some new lip products, and I'll use that in this little demo. So let me demo this, show you guys what it does, how it applies, and then demo some of this other makeup. I'm gonna do my whole makeup here in the next couple of minutes. It's a really quick, easy look. This is like my everyday look, which I feel actually kind of looks glam, like you've really done a lot, but it's really like the bare minimum, okay? But I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of the video. Okay. All right, you guys, so doing this foundation, doing any foundation for me, I mean, sometimes you can use a primer. I just don't think that it's necessary. Use a nice moisturizer, get your skin prepped, and you shouldn't need a whole heck of a lot else, okay? Something very important with this foundation, you guys, as we get started, a brush versus a sponge is really gonna make a huge difference, okay? I prefer a brush with this. This is a very, as we said, natural finish. I love a natural finish foundation. I love even like a shiny foundation, but with a dampened sponge, the moisture, the extra moisture, just to me doesn't react very well with this. It looks very shiny. Like I said, the first time I used this, I obviously just went in with my sponge as I do with most things, and I was shocked. I was like, how does anybody like this? But I put it on and stuff, and I was, you know, kind of in the midst of like the early days of reviewing it. It's like, I'll see what it does under all circumstances. And then in about an hour or so, it really looked great. Like, I don't know what happened. It set itself, I don't know, okay? But I just don't think a sponge is the way to go. A brush is what you want to do, and this is the number 56 foundation brush from Sephora. Nothing better than this brush. If you've been here a long time, I feel like a decade we've been talking about this brush, okay? But what I like to do, I don't like to, put a little bit on my hand, and then you work from there, okay? So it's a very good coverage foundation. Start in the middle, work outward as we do. But what's cool about it is that, jeez, I don't know how I do this mirror, whatever, I just have to look at the back of my mirror. What's cool about it is that it has great coverage, but it does have that, you know, natural finish. So it's working on under your eyes. I have a lot of redness. It works well with the discoloration. This color is pretty spot on. It's 5N. A really good shade range. And I'll talk about the brush for just a second. There's a lot of different types of brushes. Obviously, I believe the Sephora brushes are even more different now, but it's the same vibe, but it may be a little, I don't know, I just haven't tried the new version of this brush, but this is the best foundation brush. Probably, it would definitely be in my top 3, if not my number 1, that's for sure. But you need a brush that has a little bit of a grab to it, nothing too slick, nothing too like, do you know what I'm saying? There's some foundation brushes that are just very like synthetic feeling, very slick. This is a good one. Even though it is a synthetic brush, it kind of really grabs well. Got a little bit of something right there, like a little breakout. And just very lightly, whatever's left, you know, you just kind of buff it over. It really does well with this coloration. I find that I don't have to use a ton of concealer with this. And I think a lot of it has to do with that glowy effect. We really underestimate the power of a little bit of sheen, a little bit of like a natural finish in disguising discoloration. So that's that. And I didn't really have to use much concealer. What I do use is this. I use the Armani Luminous Silk. And I really don't like to use a lot of that either. And talking about aging, under eye issues, whatever, Just a little tip to add into this, because I know this is about the foundation, but this is a part of it. Match your under eye concealer as closely as you can. I know you want to go very light. I used to go very, very light. If you use a very light product under your eye or on any area that's aging or has any sort of lines, it will accentuate everything, that light color. You really want to get as close as you can. The color that I use is 5.25 in this. And it just, you know, I mean, you see people that use like reds or really, you know, different color correctors that are much darker than their skin tone or much a different color. You know, it's not just using a really light, bright color isn't the answer. So maybe just skip all that and use like a really good coverage concealer in the correct shade, and you may be able to skip some of that. And then I take a color that's a lot lighter. This is 4.75. I probably could use one that's even lighter. This is just one that I had that was older from, I don't know, when I was using too light of concealer. And then I put it here. Do you guys remember? Like 15 years ago when I used that little MAC Rose pen and we do the triangle. I'd say make a little triangle there. And you still want to do that. Don't get it up under your eye area like where your circle would be. But just kind of right there on the side of your nose and right on the edge there, right where the darkness would start. And that really kind of like lights up your face. And then I have been doing this. This is odd. Okay, I actually, well, this isn't odd, but I was thinking the other day, like sometimes I will use a powder, you know, just a little bit, you know, just in certain areas. But I forgot about how good this was. It's the Nars Translucent Crystal. This stuff is so good you can barely even see it on your brush. It's the kind of powder that I like, okay? Not all over, just in like certain areas. But I bought this. It's the, do you guys remember all of these? The incandescent strobe light, or the ambient lighting powders. And they have this one that was this tiny little size. It's really pretty. This is the incandescent strobe light. This is the one that's like for strobing, because some of them are just like, and so that kind of, I thought I was buying like a highlighter, which it is. It's not even as like shiny as my Laura Mercier Matte Radiance. Like it's not gonna flash in that way. Like I do kind of like a highlighter if I am to use. What I do with this is I put it here and you'd be like, oh my gosh. No, it's not like shiny and shimmery. It's just like satiny and bright, because I don't want to look matte, you know what I mean? But I don't look shiny either, but I put it right over that. Not under my eyes, just on that part where I use the light color. If what I did with that incandescent thing just freaked you out and you were like, that might be too much, then use the translucent crystal. This is amazing. But when I was buying the foundation, I saw these, the Makeup by Mario powders. I was, of course, looking at everything in the brand. Speaking of brushes, the Makeup by Mario brand does have beautiful brushes, but they're all flippin' double-ended, which kind of made me nutty because I was like, I'll never buy that. The only double-ended brush that I have is this Trish McEvoy foundation brush, which I love, but I always have to just lay it on my counter or just kind of lay it on the side. All my brushes are in a container. I don't like to lay them on surfaces, so I don't really understand how, I mean, where are you storing them? I'm sure there's some gadget and somebody has like the perfect solution to that. But how are you storing them really though? Because I feel like the average person is like storing makeup brushes upright in a jar, in a container. And I never can bring myself to do that with this one, because then that's just hitting the bottom of the container and getting like germy and gross and flat and ruining it. So you know what I'm saying? I just I don't understand that. But anyways, okay. These powders, they're called the Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Perfector. When I bought it, I thought it was like a cream. I didn't know what it was, but I was like, I'm buying makeup, throw it in. And I got the light color. This is one of my favorite products I've tried in a very long time. What the light looks like, it's kind of like a, you know, on this end, it's like a matte bronzery vibe, I guess, like our sculpting color in the middle. There's a goldish color, which I would never have thought that I would like, because I usually don't put gold like that on my face. And then a beautiful, perfect, like highlighting shade. And I mean, you could take a fluffy brush, you could just kind of do one of these dealies. Where's my fluffy brush? You know, like doop, 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 and then, okay? I usually just kind of go in just straight with that first color and just start doing, yeah, just, you can use it like a bronzer. You don't have to like go in every little color separately. You could use the whole thing and just do like a, whatever. But I kind of like to start with like the top, you know, I'm not like so careful, like, oh, I can only get this color, but it's just kind of an easy, natural thing. It is enough most days just on its own, like, but if you did want a little more like contour, a little more something, this is the product I've been using. It's the Nars, this is the Nars Laguna 02, which is the original. the bronzing creams. These smell so good. I just love them so much. I'm using this on its own. I take a big fluffy brush and just go for it. I'm just gonna be like, okay, like I really just want a little bit of a darker, like a contour or just a little something. You know, I just add a little. Again, like I said, you could use a bigger brush with this and really like just make it, you know, whatever. But let me show you what I do though with this. So I take like the darker color on top. I just kind of go in with that. And it's nice because it's not like a really heavy, it's not like a real powdery powder. It's just kind of real smooth and light. And as I always say, like, it's not about like bronzing or contouring. It's all about just giving your face dimension. That's what all those things just like should be doing. And then just kind of going over all those areas and then a little bit down there. This color in the middle kind of naturally makes it a little more luminous, but it's just cool. You know, you could take that goldish color and it's not difficult. It's just like easy, like you don't even have to think about it kind of thing. And then best highlight brush ever. Just love this one. Put it in the highlight. And you guys, I mean, it's so easy. Like, I just love this. I think this is just such a cool all-in-one kind of product. And when I got it, I looked at it and I was kind of like, that's not what I thought it was going to be. And I love it so much. And you do your eyes. Make sure everything's blended. Do your eyes. A little bit of blush. I have been using two different blushes. The Beauty Pie, which I have a few more of those coming soon. Or the Golden Hour, but I did order the Polished, which is kind of like a shimmery pink. A pink that's got like a sheen to it. It's almost like Nars Orgasm. It reminds me of Nars Orgasm. I just love the formula of these though. They're so easy. I normally do my highlight after this, but whatever, you guys. But this is like very natural too. Like this color and the Golden Hour have a hint of a sheen to it, which honestly I really like. And I know there was just such a thing years ago where we were like, oh, we can't use anything that has a sheen or a shimmer or a shine. And I just love that. Okay, so quick swipe of the Bobbi Brown taupe. You guys, this stuff just could not be more simple. Like, I mean, we can, you know, I'll go through and do like a big palette and blending and all of that. I mean, you could do that. We've done that for years. Like, but just on the daily, if you want to like look good and done, you don't want to spend forever doing your makeup, just grab some of these. These are great. The taupe is just the perfect. Swipe of eyeliner. It's the Colleen Rothschild liner. Swipe it on, smudge it out. Could not be easier. I just think that nothing is more flattering. Like I love a smudgy eyeliner effect. It makes your lashes look thicker. You know, sometimes I just don't want to follow, you know, rather than something like super trendy that like looks different. I just think nothing's better than that. And I'm telling you, grab this. The taupe is just such a staple. It's the only color that I use. As you guys saw, you're gonna love it. And then a quick swipe of mascara. I'm using the Colleen Rothschild mascara. I really need some more. I love this stuff so much. My lashes have been insane. I mean, they get better and better with the Revitalash, but I've been using just this since I got it, so it's like been a very long time. And I really feel like I can tell a huge difference in just how it's like conditioned my lashes. And I don't know, mascara is something that you might wear every day and you don't realize like how drying it could be, or how maybe, you know, if you're having some issues with your eyelashes, it could be your mascara. Okay, so that was just like a quick getting through that. Oh, lips, quickly. Okay, in my last video, I think I had really lined my lips like to heck and back. Like, I don't even know. They looked insane. I haven't had them done. And I, like, probably since I was on camera doing them, like, I want to say it's been a long time. A year? Probably wrong, I don't know. Okay, anyways. So, that's the natural mauve. And so this is the natural mauve. And then I've told you guys, I just like a clear, or I like something very simple. And I've been using this. I talked about this in my like best of the year. It's the Lawless Forget the Filler. Because I'd never looked, I had no idea that the company made like other lip glosses and stuff. So it's the Forget the Filler Lip Plumping Line Smoothing Gloss. That's what I love about it, is it smooths your lines. It doesn't make your lips look big or huge. It's just nice. And this is the color Glazed, and it is perfection. It reads like a clear. It has a little bit of a true like glazed effect. It's just so pretty. So I just think that's really pretty and natural. I'm trying to think of anything else that I could use. I have a lot of other new makeup and stuff that I've tried lately. I do have another foundation that I'm going to be reviewing soon, which I can't wait for that. And so many things coming up. I think overall this is a good one to try. If, as you know, you kind of took my takes at the top of the video. I didn't want to wait and draw this out and then, okay, now let me tell you what I think. So I feel like you probably know if it's gonna work for you or not. I think with my skin type, it's probably not the best for me because I do feel like I am really sensitive to certain ingredients that are pore clogging or that could break you out. This does have that ingredient that's the coconut, whatever. So I guess my point of saying that is just don't take it like all or nothing. Oh, this has a pore clogging ingredient. Oh, this has that coconut, whatever, and I can't use it. I think I'll be fine with it. The foundation is so beautiful and I really do love it. I love finding one that's very glowy and has that effect, which is probably the glowiest foundation that I own. Definitely is. Definitely the one that I've used that has the most actual shimmer or highlight or glow to it that I've ever used. But it's very long wearing for a formula like that because I know that's not always easy to do. So I really do love it. But it's one of those that isn't like this is good, this is bad because of this or that. It's just something that you're gonna have to use your judgment on if it's something that might work for you. But I would say give it a shot, it's cool. But in my next review, which might be coming up, see I got something else this week, next couple videos, I'm gonna review a foundation that has surpassed my Luminous Silk. And I've been trying it for a couple months now. You guys know I do like to actually review things long-term, especially foundations. I don't just use something and tell you, well, this is what it looks like, because in a week your skin could be wrecked, in 2 weeks, and whatever. The packaging could fail. I mean, you know what I mean? So I really do try. And if I do like something, if I find like this one that I'm gonna talk about next is just so amazing, I really have to I try to hate it. I really do. I try to talk myself out of it. So I'm not like one of those sunshiny reviewers where, oh yay, everything's great. I really hate something before I love it. I really have to talk myself into loving it, okay? So hopefully that doesn't sound like I'm a complete nut. But anyways, I hope this helped you guys. And I know this is something that is very like buzzed about and hyped up currently. So I really wanted to kind of share that with you. Okay, I should probably do my hair or not. Do my hair means let's put it in a ponytail and get out of here. But thank you guys for watching. I'll link everything below, all the things that I use, brushes, anything that you saw, and put my shades and stuff below. So lots more coming up. I've got so many fun things coming up, and I hope that you guys are excited about all of the, like getting back to, well, I don't know. Some of y'all may have complained because you missed the makeup reviews or you didn't think that I did enough of this kind of stuff last year or the year before. Probably the same people that are gonna be telling me that I have a shopping problem in about a week. So you know, we do what we do. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Love you, and I will see you very soon. Bye, y'all.